I note that you did not give me as loud a cheer as you did to Mpumi. Not that I seek any. It's because I am not wearing the beautiful pants that she was wearing here. So next time I come to a Google Summit, I'll make sure that I wear as colorful and as beautiful pants as she was wearing this morning. Thank you very much, Mpumi. Thank you very much, James. I'd like to extend my words of warm welcome to all of you, particularly to ministers who are here present, and more particularly to my good friends who are here, Strive, Adrian, whom I saw, Shamil. I was rather surprised to see you all here. I thought you'd be focused in your companies and not mixing up with the likes of me and everyone who's here. But I also want to welcome our brothers and sisters from various countries on our continent. This is truly an African summit, much as it is dubbed a Johannesburg summit. So I welcome you all, and I'm particularly pleased that I've been given the opportunity to be here. I should have been in cabinet this morning, but when I heard that it's Google, I said, no, let me come and Google you all. So distinguished guests and fellow African representatives who are here, and more especially the leadership of Google. Good morning, and Sanbonani, Dumelang, and Lord Cha to all of you. It is my privilege to have this moment to address this first ever Google's Cloud Summit on the African continent. And today is not about just Google. It is about far more than a technology conference. It is about where Africa chooses to position herself in the defining technologies and the defining technological revolution of our time. Every great economic transformation has essentially been powered by new infrastructure, new innovations, as well as by new ways of doing things. Railways powered the Industrial Revolution. As we all know, electricity powered the 20th century. Cloud computing and artificial intelligence will power the new economies of the 21st century. And Africa intends, our beloved continent Africa intends not merely to participate in that future. We intend to help to shape it. And we've got the bright minds, we've got the intellectual capital that can help us do that. Now, the holding of this summit is a major milestone for our continent and for South Africa. The regional Google Cloud Summits are the premier technology and enterprise events for showcasing the latest innovations in cloud computing, in artificial intelligence, and in digital transformation. So this event affirms Africa's position as a core growth region for the global cloud ecosystem. This is so because Africa is no longer simply adopting technologies developed elsewhere. We are becoming a place where new digital solutions should be imagined, are being tested, and should be scaled up and are being scaled up. A substantial part of the projected global cloud value sits in Africa, where the demand for cloud is growing, cloud solutions is growing by leaps and bounds, and is scalable. The scalable AI is also growing exponentially. A 2024 McKinsey report found that cloud adoption in major African businesses was easily on par with, and in some instances even ahead of, adoption rates in North America and in China. So South Africa and Google are a perfect match. South Africa combines world-class financial markets, sophisticated legal institutions, deep engineering capability, globally respected universities, and a growing innovation system or ecosystem. These are precisely the ingredients that are required for a growing and a thriving AI economy. So Google Cloud is one of the largest global enterprises, cloud providers in the world. South Africa is Africa's digital investment powerhouse and Africa's largest cloud market. We are a mature market for digital investment with high internet penetration and a strong regulatory framework. Beyond housing approximately 70% of Africa's hyperscale data center capacity, South Africa is also a major investment hub for tech startups, and I'm told that many of you who are here are in the tech startup industry, if I can call it that. So this year's Global Startup Ecosystem Index ranked a South African city, Cape Town, as the third highest ranked startup ecosystem in Africa. As leaders, well, even if you don't live in Cape Town, you can applaud that. So that is great. Now, as leaders and innovators and visionaries, we share a common belief in the transformative power of technology to spur economic growth, as James said, and to propel human development. The objectives of this summit deeply resonate with our national aspirations and ambitions. Earlier this year, we held the 6th South Africa Investment Conference, and that was to attract as much investment and to provide various sectors of our economy to grow on the back of those investments. At this year's conference, domestic and international investors expressed their ongoing confidence in South Africa as a premier investment destination. So this confidence is underpinned by the progress that we continue to make in the structural reforms of our network industries and transformation of our economy. A critical part of the structural reforms being coordinated through Operation Vulindlela, which is in the presidency. It is the creation of a comprehensive digital public infrastructure for South Africa that will serve as the backbone of our modern economy. Secure, interoperable digital systems will support digitization across the public as well as the private sector, and it will also foster financial inclusion and scale up the delivery of public services. And the financial inclusion part is quite important. And James, I saw that at Google, you're not only responsible for research and labs and technology, but also for society. Now, this is where I focus attention on as I focus on technology, on society and how we include people in our country and indeed on our continent, to include them in financial services, in technological absorption, and now in AI. And that should be the focus that all of us have. Now, a key strategic priority of our government is inclusive growth as well as job creation, and we have been clear on the role of a robust digital infrastructure and what role it should play in achieving this goal. We are greatly encouraged that Google shares this view. And so in this regard, we are well aligned. This investment, the investment announcements that will be made at this summit are a vote of confidence in our economic trajectory. James has already given me an insight on some of the things that Google is going to announce this morning. I'm quite excited, and much as I may not or will not be here, this is something that enables and encourages us to partner even much more strongly with Google. Now these announcements will catalyze job creation, will support the growth of small and medium enterprises, and above all, enhance our global competitiveness. Cloud and AI are reshaping the landscape globally at a pace that is unprecedented in human history. Now, as South Africa, we stand ready to harness these shifts to transform our economy and society. And earlier, Strive Masiyiwa was saying to me, and he's a front runner in many of these, and he was saying, Mr. President, we on the African continent must take this great leap, must take this advantage of what the digital technological advancement is actually holding out for us. AI is not simply another technological innovation. It is a general purpose technology comparable, as I said earlier, to electricity, the internet, and the steam engine. It will reshape every industry, every profession, and every aspect of public life. And we can already see it. Countries that prepare today will define the prosperity of tomorrow. Now, these shifts present a key strategic opportunity for African countries to accelerate their technological evolution and to embrace the digital infrastructure of the 21st century in an entirely new way as well. Now, with the support of Google and our investment partners, and many of them are here, we envision a South Africa where businesses and industry, may I add, as well as government, and Strive was stressing that to me, all of us must really adapt AI-enabled services at scale. And we should do so much more rapidly and at a lower cost than we would have been able to do so through the legacy IT infrastructure. We envision a South Africa where these technologies are rapidly deployed across also the public sector, enabling us in government to modernize public administration and education, transportation, public infrastructure, and the delivery of basic services. We see a South Africa, and may I add an Africa, where educational content will be provided through the cloud and delivered directly to the classroom using the latest technologies. And during COVID, when we locked down, and I was one of the most hated persons in our country then, when I said everyone should stay at home, we saw how technology even enabled young people who were either at university or high school were able to learn. And we also learned how we run our businesses from homes, and now it's become a usual occurrence where companies now say you can work at home and you can monitor and manage yourself. Now we envision a country where AI solutions are deployed for disease management and prevention, to manage the national energy grid, by farmers to predict weather patterns, and by scientists to guide our national climate response. Now, when it comes to diseases, tomorrow or the day after I'll be going to the DRC, where there's now Ebola. And I'll be discussing with President Tshisekedi how, through a number of enabling technologies, we can even see how best even Ebola and the many other diseases can do so, as I am the champion of pandemic prevention on the African continent. In addition to cloud and AI providing several solutions, they will ultimately enhance humanity's capabilities. Now, ultimately, cloud and AI matter because they can also increase productivity. And this is where the real rub is. If we are going to rely on, for instance, technology and AI, we need to focus on how that enhances the productivity of all of us as human beings, but more importantly, of how it can drive productivity in our companies, in government, and in the economy broadly. For far too long, Africa has had to play digital catch-up with the world's leading and most industrialized economies. We are now presented with a great opportunity to be in the driving seat of our own industrialization and growth. We no longer want to be passengers. We now want to be right there. I digress for a minute. During the COVID pandemic, we were having to order all the PEPs, personal protection systems, like masks and all that, and working together with Strive. And he's guilty for many things. I'll mention him once again for another thing that he was guilty of. We worked together to ensure that when it came to vaccines, we were no longer way behind other countries in the world. And we said we must catch up. We must be right there together with other countries in the world. And we were able to do that. And that represented resolve. Resolve on our part as Africans to refuse to be catch-up people, to refuse to be catch-up countries, to ensure that we are right there with all the technological advances and all other processes, vaccines and everything, and now technology. So technology will in the end unlock entirely new industries, as it is now doing so. It will improve the competitiveness of existing firms and create opportunities for thousands of entrepreneurs who today face barriers for entering the formal economy. Bringing these world-class cloud capabilities to our shores will improve data security and ensure that our businesses, from the largest financial institution in this city to the tech startup in Soweto, in Khayelitsha, in Kwamashu, in KZN, have access to the same cutting-edge tools as their global competitors. Yes, we want it on our African continent as well, in all our countries on the continent. This will enable us to build a digital economy that serves all our people. Policy agility and responsiveness, therefore, is a priority. So that now points at us as government. We are seeking to build a predictable, enabling regulatory environment that supports innovations and innovators, that safeguards the rights and the data of businesses as well as citizens, and that ensures that AI is both developed and deployed responsibly. Now, the expansion of our digital infrastructure brings to the fore important conversations that we should have even today at this summit about data sovereignty, about human rights, and the environmental footprint of our progress. Now, as we expand our data center capabilities and capacities to meet the demands of cloud computing, we must do so in a sustainable manner. It should, however, be noted that our ambition is not simply to expand and host data centers. Our ambitions is to build companies, to produce researchers, so that it should not be James alone who can be in charge of the Google research labs and all that. I want to produce more Jameses here, and I can already see them. As I look at your face, I see another James. So I want to produce many more Jameses. And we want to commercialize African ideas, to create intellectual property that competes globally. Africa, our continent, possesses unique challenges, but these challenges are also opportunities. On the flip side of those challenges are opportunities that we must face and benefit from. We are encouraged by the engagements that are taking place across the industry to ensure that our digital expansion respects fundamental rights, protects our environment, and contributes positively to host communities. It is through this collaborative dialogue between government, industry, and society that we are successfully able to navigate these complexities. Beyond creating an enabling environment, the South African government itself is investing in cloud infrastructure, including the Savoa Cloud at the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, which is localized cloud and storage platform. Around the world, governments are investing in critical cloud, investing in AI infrastructure to safeguard their own sovereignty and protect their citizens. In the digital age, sovereignty is measured not only by territorial borders. It is increasingly measured by a nation's ability to secure its data, to develop its own digital capabilities, and to exercise meaningful control over the technologies on which its economy depends. So I call on Google and other cloud providers to work with government to provide and to build sovereign digital as well as AI capacity that draws on both the state institutions and private sector dynamism. Now, we had a conversation with James and his colleagues earlier, and the desire that we both have as Google and as South African government is that we should work together as partners. Now, as we champion this digital transformation, we are mindful that the transition must be a just one. We cannot allow digital poverty to widen the gap between the haves and the have-nots. This is why investments in human capital are just as important as investments in data centers and the undersea cables. We must equip our young people with the skills that they need right now to thrive in workplaces of tomorrow. We also applaud Google's decision to invest in comprehensive AI skilling frameworks, as well as digital literacy programs that are going to empower our young people. This will ensure that South Africans, and indeed Africans, are not mere consumers of technology, but that they are active participants and creators, as well as innovators. Now, this is a vision we hold not just for South Africa, but for our entire continent. Africa's true wealth lies not in our natural resources, but in the ingenuity and resilience of its people. As we step boldly into the age of artificial intelligence, our aspiration is to anchor Africa as a catalyst, but also South Africa as the gateway for the continent's digital ascendancy. By building robust infrastructure to harness this technology, We are doing more than modernizing our economy. We are taking a quantum leap into the future. So to the leadership of Google, we thank you for being a steadfast partner in Africa's development journey. Your investments that will be announced today will serve as a vital artery for our technological future. So let us continue to work together to harness the boundless opportunities of the cloud and AI. Throughout history, every generation has been called upon to build the infrastructure of its age. Our predecessors built roads, they built ports, dams, and power stations. Ours is the generation called upon to build the digital infrastructure that will power the African century. So let future generations say that when the opportunity came, Africa chose ambition over hesitation, innovation over imitation, and partnership over isolation. Together, we will ensure that the technologies shaping tomorrow are developed in ways that advance human dignity, human advancement, expand the opportunity, and improve the lives of all our people. That is the future we begin building today, even at this summit. Let us all ensure that in this new digital age, no person is left behind. And I'd like to end by saying no country on the African continent must be left behind. So let us continue to work together. And once again, thank you to the Google leadership for giving me this opportunity. And I look forward to working very closely with you, James, and all your other colleagues. Thank you very much.